we care about these small businesses, the SMB, and wanting to make sure that they aren't the ones who are left behind just because there's so much software focused on enterprise or startups that the SMBs end up being the segment that gets forgotten about, because once a company starts creating software and seeing that they're getting these huge contracts from enterprise, they kind of focus on enterprise.
Hello, and welcome to Velocitize Talks. I'm Andy North, and I'm joined today by David Ly Khim, Senior Growth Manager from HubSpot. David, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, tell us a little bit about HubSpot. It's known as a seller of software solutions for inbound marketing and sales, yet it is so much more. What's going on with HubSpot these days?
A lot is going on. So we just recently announced that we have this new Service Hub solution. So we previously had our marketing product, which is what we're mostly known for, came out with our sales product, and now we have our CRM and Services Hub all bundled up into one growth suite. So with that, it's been a lot, because one of our biggest things we've realized over the last couple of years is marketing has changed, because now it's not just about the company or your brand putting out a message and trying to get customers. It's also about your customers getting you more customers. Your customers are your best marketers. They're your best salespeople. So that's why with this new Service Hub offering, we want to help enable companies to speak to their customers more and understand how happy they are by doing NPS surveys, by getting feedback, by allowing them an easy way to put in a support ticket to speak to that company. More and more, our services team is the biggest flywheel at the company. They're the ones who are customer facing and making sure that they're happy, that they're willing to refer their friends and colleagues to use our products. So that Services Hub product is probably one of the biggest things that's been happening this year.
Let's talk a little bit about the growth of marketing. You mentioned a lot of things going on with HubSpot, particularly around the marketing arena. You've been in marketing for several years. Talk a little bit about what you've seen with some of the growth and what HubSpot has seen, and where you see digital marketing moving ahead.
So HubSpot pioneered this idea of inbound marketing, and that was a lot mostly focused on content marketing and social media and creating content that pulls people in rather than pushing out your message. And as we've seen over the years, we've been very successful with getting this idea of inbound marketing out. There's hundreds of thousands, millions of blogs out there creating content. The quality, can't say it's consistently great, but people have continued creating more of this content. And what we found, even within HubSpot, is it's not just about who pumps out the most content. It's about who pumps out the best, most useful, valuable, entertaining content. And even that, there's still a large number of companies creating wonderful content. So in that sense, now it's about creating more strategy around, okay, what type of content are you creating and how does it all tie together? So a lot of our efforts now is not only with content, but how our site architecture works with technical SEO, and making sure that the content that we create follows our strategy of what our customers want to hear, but also what's helping our business grow. So there's a lot more emphasis on creating content that's SEO focused and also customer focused. And that's been the biggest learning that we've had, where every quarter we're thinking about, okay, what is the roadmap for content for the rest of this quarter, and what will we not create? So we have an omissions list of what we won't write about for that quarter. So more and more we're teaching other businesses to think about not just about the next blog post they'll write, but about the different topics that they want to be known for, that they want to own.
As far as the future of digital marketing, do you have any thoughts on we've come so far so fast. Do you have any thoughts on where it's going in the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, in the next 3 to 5 years, I mean, it's already happening, but there's this move to video. There's this move to more one-on-one conversations with both customers and with prospects through live chat tools that we're beginning to see proliferate more into our industry. And it's not even the sense of just technology companies that are using these live chat tools. It's small businesses, mom and pop shops, brick and mortar shops who have websites and are becoming more tech savvy and finding that these tools are extremely easy to use, where they can have a conversation one-on-one with someone that's thinking about buying a product on their website, or someone that's thinking about visiting their storefront. So it's easier for these companies to have one-on-one conversations. So for those companies who aren't having those one-on-one marketing conversations or sales conversations or customer support conversations and trying to just point them to a landing page with all the answers there and just FAQs, those companies might be the ones that fall behind, where if they aren't emphasizing the human-to-human contact, then that's going to be a challenge that they'll need to figure out.
That does seem to be the last mile when it comes to some of the SMB marketing that you're talking about. The big companies, the big box stores, et cetera, retailers, what have you, they've always been able to have those sort of one-on-one live chats or even with bots. But the mom and pop shops, the SMBs, that seems to be where they were lagging behind a bit. So it sounds like you've enabled that through some of the solutions you're providing.
Definitely, yeah, and that's what we pride ourselves on. For us, we've stayed very strictly focused on the SMB. Brian and Dharmesh have been very specific on, we're not moving to enterprise, we're focused on SMB, we're focused on being the best solution for all their front of office needs.
And I assume that includes making the right type of price point so that they can get involved and leverage it as much as possible.
Yeah, and that's a big piece of why we came out with our free CRM. We realized that at HubSpot and all other small businesses, it's important to have this one platform where you have all your customer data instead of having multiple disparate tools where you're trying to use different APIs and trying to connect them all, unsure if all your data is actually getting through. We provide this platform where you have your CRM, you have your marketing tools, your sales tools, your customer service tools, and all of that is connected. And with our focus on creating more of a community where we have a lot of software integrations, they can also pull all that data into HubSpot so they can look at one customer profile, see every interaction that they've had with that customer.
So we're seeing sales and marketing not just working together, but almost working as one much more often now. How have you seen that with some of your clients as well as HubSpot itself? Are you tied so integrally with your sales and marketing team that they're almost seamless?
In the beginning, we were focused very heavily on sales and marketing alignment. We created a phrase for it, Smarketing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but we began to see that there was more of a need to not just align sales and marketing, but customer service teams and even our product team, where now we just call it Sparketing. So all those things mashed up into one word, and it's a quarterly meeting where all the different teams and all leadership from across the company will have this one meeting, and that's where everyone gets updates on what's happening in the customer service side of things, what's happening on marketing, what's happening in sales, what's happening in the product. So everyone's on the same page about what's about to happen and how things are currently moving. So it doesn't give us all the details just because there's only so much you can fit into 1 hour with everyone in a room, but it lets people know the high level points and allows them to go to the company leadership or go to other teams and ask more details about what's happening with this thing, how can I better sell this product that's about to be released, or what's happening with this marketing campaign, how can I speak to customers on the phone about this campaign, maybe they'll want to know about it. More and more we're finding that these cross-department meetings are what's helping disseminate more information across the company.
Are you hearing about this similar type of marketing?
Yeah.
At the client level, with your customers, are you seeing that alignment at that level as well?
Yeah, definitely. We've been preaching this idea of Smarketing for over 5 years now. So our clients are definitely starting to do it, and one of our execs, his name's Dan Tyre, he does a lot of speaking engagements, and one of the things he's always talking about is how once companies understand this concept of sales and marketing alignment, their business just starts moving so much quicker because there isn't that lag of communication anymore. They're just in step with each other along the way.
Let's talk a little bit about experimentation. You're a big fan yourself of experimentation.
Yeah.
How do you balance the experimenting with new techniques, new channels, et cetera, with also keeping in mind that you have your tried and true channels as well?
This is an interesting question that I get quite often whenever I'm speaking about experiments or any growth talks that I give. And the general answer I give is, well, one, you don't want to spend 100% of time doing the tried and true things. So depending on what channels you're focused on, it might be using Facebook ads or focused on SEO for search. In each of those cases, it's a dependency on a different platform. They're not owned platforms. Facebook might change their algorithm, Google might change the algorithm, and all of a sudden you might lose your ranking or your ads might not be performing as well. So what we think about is, let's continue doing that. Let's spend about 60 to 80% focused on the channels that already work. So in our case, that's usually the bread and butter of search marketing, paid ads, doing co-marketing and partnerships, and then let's try out some new things. So at HubSpot, we're focused on this idea of product-driven acquisition in order to get new free users signing up. So that's an experiment in itself where we're trying to focus on what can we do within a product to get more people inviting their friends or colleagues to use our product as well. And that's something that we historically haven't really done too much. So for us to put resources into that is a way for us trying to diversify our user acquisition portfolio. So the way I generally explain it is have a team focused 100% on that experimentation and your other team spending 100% of their time on things that work, but the team that's focused on experimentation is going to be smaller. So of your resources, it's probably a 20-80 split.
Here's a question we ask all of our guests. Are there any books or podcasts that you've enjoyed lately that you would like to recommend to our viewers?
There are two books that I'd recommend, at least when it pertains to psychology and marketing. One is Fooled by Randomness. So that's more focused on statistics and understanding how to look at the data that you're collecting and not just being fooled by correlation versus causation. Definitely one of the more influential books I've read. And Thinking Fast and Slow, kind of a dry book, but extremely helpful in understanding your customer and how they behave and why they behave the way they do. In terms of podcasts, one that I've been listening to a lot is called How I Built This. The second one is Startup by Gimlet. I've actually been revisiting the first season again and just re-listening to that and understanding how they went about building this company. So those two have been very both entertaining and informative the last couple of weeks.
Very cool. My guest today has been David Ly Khim from HubSpot. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time.